afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for joining me today on a scorching Friday afternoon. We're running at 29 degrees according to the bike, and it's probably hotter outside because that rheostat is likely getting some airflow and stuff like that as well. It is absolutely burning today, and we've got a really high humidity factor. We've had like 2 days of really good rain. And yeah, temperature wise, humidity wise, it's just killing us at the moment. Really getting into the prime of summer here. And today you're joining me on my favorite route home, not the shortest route home, but the favorite route home. And today's topic of choice is the MT09. So I thought I'd give you guys a little bit of heads up. We'll start off with what mods have I done in terms of aesthetics and performance, to give you guys a little bit of a background on her, and then we'll take my thoughts on her from there. Just bear in mind all my thoughts are obviously subjective, and this is also not a new motorcycle. It has had some modifications done to it. So right off the bat, we have got this absolutely amazing Puge screen in front here. I've ridden other MT09s when I was shopping around that didn't have a Puge screen, and the wind blast was just absolutely horrendous. So I mean, I would probably recommend this screen as modification number one when you get a bike like this. If you're going to be doing any kind of highway riding or riding at a little bit higher pace, 100% recommend you get this screen. Hey guys, it makes it so much more pleasant on the highway. It's not pleasant, but it's more pleasant than what it is without it. Second thing we've done is we've replaced brake and clutch levers with Puge ones, and these have just given me a little bit more customization in terms of feel and placement of the bars. I must say I really do enjoy the lever pull. I don't know if there's actually any difference between the Puge lever and the levers that were on here when I got the bike, because those weren't original either. But this just seems to give me so much better feeling of the clutch pull, and the clutch pull seems lighter. I don't know, that's really subjective. Maybe it's just placebo effect because it's new things, but anyway, that's there and it's really nice. 100% recommend that as a mod. And then probably the most obvious thing that's been done to her is the full titanium Yoshi exhaust system, which sounds absolutely pucker. Like, I know the Acro does a really nice exhaust, but I think this sounds way better. And that might just be because I don't believe this bike was fuel mapped on a dyno for when this exhaust was put on, because she does seem to be running a little bit rich. She pops and bangs on D-cell incredibly hard. Like, listen to this. Off she goes, still going. I don't know how much of that you can hear, but she's pretty vicious with it. But it's a beautiful sound to me, and it just makes it doesn't make it, but it adds to the joy of riding this motorcycle tenfold. So that's the mods, that's the extras. We are currently running Michelin Pilot Road 5s because we commute every day, so sport touring rubber is the way to go. Sportier stuff just isn't going to hold up on the abuse that I intend to put on them. Come along, there we go. So I want to start with my favorite bit of this bike, the thing that makes this bike such a pleasure to own, and that's that magic little CP3 motor that the Yamaha has put in here. This motor is absolutely beastly. I mean, I've ridden the odd 1000, and I thoroughly feel that in terms of low down torque, this bike is there. Like, it is so addictive, so much fun. Shit, that's narrow, I probably shouldn't have done that, but anyway, continue. You've done it, and you did it with confidence. That's the most important thing, I think. cloudy, but pretty. I was really hoping this afternoon's traffic was going to be better than this morning. Goodness, guys, give me a little bit of space to work with here. Thank you very much. Back to the CP3 motor. So low down torque is her name, but the high RPM horsepower is definitely not lacking. Like you can feel torque from about 2 grand to 5 grand. Then I feel a little bit of a flat spot between 5 and 6. And then, I mean, if you're sitting at 6,000 RPM and you whack the throttle and you're in anything but first gear, this bike just absolutely rockets forward. Like, it is literally like a warp drive that you press, and this bike just absolutely leaps forward. If you're in first gear and you whack the throttle at all, she'll proceed to do... Is it safe? Is it safe? No, not really. It's not safe. I'll show you shortly what she's going to do if you whack. Okay, so I mean, yeah. Back to where we were. If you're in first gear, you whack the throttle, she's going to do this. Either spin up the rear wheel, or wheelie, or do both, and it's positively frightening. It's fucking magic, it's addictive, makes your heart race, but it's so frightening. At least for me. I mean, I came from a Honda CBR 600, which never misbehaved like that. Like, you could just be so ham-fisted on the throttle with that thing, and it would never ever do something like that. But props out, first gear is so much fun on this motorcycle. I feel first gear just about makes this motorcycle. Like, the availability of torque in all the other gears, you can be really lazy, and you'll, if you press the throttle, she goes. You know what I'm saying? But that ability to just indiscriminately in first gear pick up the front wheel is utterly amazing. Really, like, I'm speechless, I'm lost for words. But that CP3 motor, coupled with how they've done the gearing, is definitely my favorite part of this motorcycle. Next best thing on this bike, seating position. You're upright, you're comfortable, you're not breaking your back, you can go through traffic, and I can attest to being able to go through traffic. I mean, I'll show you a clip of what my traffic was this morning. I mean, okay, not bad, because I know that there's another lane to ride in, but you can literally sit on this bike in traffic and be comfortable. It's as comfortable and as annoying traffic can be, but you'll be comfortable. You're not going to be arched over, leaning onto your wrists, where you should technically be supporting yourself with your core. But like, that's just not a worry. You can sit upright, you can sit comfortably. You know, if it's really slow going and chilled, you can scooch all the way forward and sit up nice and straight against the tank. And if you want to be a little bit more sporty, you scooch back and you put about a fist and a half in between yourself and the tank, and you've got a bit more aggressive bend in your wrists. You're leaned a little bit forward, but just enough. Like, it's not excessive. What is going on down here? My groceries are escaping me. Well, let's put them back. Hashtag daily life. You've got to bring dog treats home on the bike from work. Just make sure they're not escaping. Oh, what a day. Anyway, back to the bike. So, seating position, uber comfortable. You know, you can, if you really want to, you can get tucked in, but you're going to have quite a bend on your elbows. And I don't really believe that's necessary for the kind of work you're going to be doing with this bike. It's not meant to be a track weapon, and as such, it's not going to put you in a position to use it as a track weapon. This is a commuter, a savage commuter, a fire-breathing commuter, but a commuter nonetheless. Next best thing for me personally, suspension. Again, everyone gripes about the suspension on this motorbike, that it's trash. You know, it's this, it's that, it's bouncy, it's not adjustable, it's a pain, and it's not appropriate. And I'm gonna disagree with you guys there. Like, I weigh on a good day 65 kilos, and I find the suspension perfectly set up for me, like plush and compliant. I'm using this bike to commute every day. You see, there we go, first gear. Oh, and then we bang the limiter. She loves doing that. Bike revs up super quick, but I think the suspension is just super great for what I need the bike to do. I don't need this motorcycle as a track weapon, so I'm not interested in having a super hard suspension that conveys every single little detail of the road back down to me. My opinion, the suspension, Yamaha, you've done well. I can't complain about it whatsoever. In terms of maintenance, things like that, it's a Japanese bike. Change the oil, change the filters, check the valves when they need to be checked, and it'll probably never break. This bike has not given me a day's trouble since I got it, at least not any trouble that can be attributed to it. That goes along with the story of why we got the Puge levers and why the handlebar is bent. In case you've never noticed, the handlebar is bent. I'm sure you can guess that it's been in an accident, which yes it has, but story for another day. So yeah, maintenance really easy. She's a little bit hard on her chain and sprockets, but that's because I ride her like an absolute tool. So you're going to go through chain and sprockets, like I did chain and sprockets 10,000 k's ago. Basically, when I got the bike, I put chain and sprockets on. They're still alright in my opinion. I have noticed a fair bit of stretch on the chain, but the sprockets still seem to be alright. It's just the chain that's had a fair bit of stretch, but I've still got a lot of adjustability on the swing arm adjuster, so I'm fairly happy with it for the time being. And tires, you're going to be replacing tires quite often probably. Like on the 600 I had the Pilot Road 4s, and after 10,000 k's I really couldn't tell a difference in them. I only started to really notice the Pilot Road 4s changing shape on the 600 at about the 15,000 mark, and by 20,000 they were square, still had tread but square. On this bike I'm at 10,000 now, and I can definitely see a change in shape on the Pilot Road 5s. I don't know if that is due to a change in the compound on the center patch or something like that. I don't think so. I believe it's this is bike's problem and that hand's problem. Just being an absolute tool. Goodness, this guy's really up my arse. So go past. Like, I'm not interested in driving around here at 110, dude. Off you go in your little Kia Picanto with dual exhausts. Very exciting. Ah! Should actually listen and see if it makes a mighty noise at the robot. I doubt it would, but anyway. So, just to wrap up the video, guys, if you're looking for a motorcycle to daily, every day, to take with you to work, to go places, to travel distance, to sit in traffic, I can 100% recommend this motorcycle. Goodness, guys, why are we going so fast? Jeez. The only gripe that I've got on this motorcycle is not the brakes themselves, but the ABS that controls the brakes. Worst thing ever. Should rather get a 2014 model that doesn't have the ABS, because you'll be able to brake better without it. Like, honestly, the ABS module on this bike is just an absolute nanny. Like, I can feel through the lever in the bike that I've still got plenty brakes left, and then the nanny starts kicking and screaming at me, and it's vicious. Like, it's solidly, get away from this lady, it's like on the rear brake, it'll solidly boot my foot off of the rear pedal, and on the front, unless you're gripping three fingers, she'll do a pretty good job of booting your finger off of there as well, and that's positively frightening. You're trying to do your best bit of braking, and the next thing you know, the ABS is suddenly disappear. You know, if anything kills me on this bike, it'll be the bloody ABS. But yeah, needless to say, I think that wraps up today's video. Guys, thank you very much for pulling through. Thank you very much for your time. Please remember to like and subscribe. It really goes a long way. If you want to go the extra mile and hit that bell notification, you'll get instant alerts to when my new videos go up. Have a great day.